in this week's Two Wheels Better, Neil Hodgson gives his verdict on world champion GP racer Mick Doohan. And our star pupil gets the results of his CBT. But first, it's British Superbikes.
Well, this is Silverstone, incredibly windy day, forecast of rain as well, but this is the press launch for the Motorcycle News British Superbikes round for 98. So I'm going to have a look round, see who I can interview and see what they think of the day and the prospects for this season. Rob, as team manager, you've got your work cut out this year, haven't you?
Well, the last two seasons, we started predominantly with a really tough season ahead, and our team's come good both years, so I'm hopefully not going to change anything. I've got two guys with me again this year who I'm sure can put a consistent year together, and we start the season with the team to beat. So the target's getting bigger every year, and we're not prepared to give anything away, so let's get on with it.
Yeah. But you're confident nevertheless?
Yeah, the bikes have been fantastic. We've got more support from Yamaha. We've got a few new bits and bobs for the bike, but most of all, both the riders are really confident, and I think that proves to be the deciding factor, I think.
Yeah, good. And Neil, what about you then, the man to beat? What's it feel like to be on this sort of pinnacle that everyone's taking a pop at?
Well, I'd rather be there as not be there, to be honest, but obviously there's a fair amount of pressure on for everyone to try and beat me. I'm the guy I suppose they're all thinking about beating, but I don't want to, as Rob says, we don't want to give it up. I want to win it again, and we'll be more prepared than we were last year because we know it's going to be tougher, and I'll try and tidy up my weak links a little bit, and then hopefully that'll help us with more points and try and win as many races and try and do the business again.
And you're certainly used to this pressure thing, aren't you?
I don't mind the pressure at all. I tend not to let it affect me too much, but I just try and get focused on the job. I always know what the job is I've got to do, so it'll be like that again this year, only obviously there's more competition, it'll be tougher, but we'll be ready.
But you'll be hanging in there?
Oh, yeah, there's no question. I'll give it everything. Hopefully it's enough to win the championship again.
I wonder if Steve will have something to say about that, Steve. Winning the championship, you'll be after him?
Well, I think there'll be a lot of people up there, this year, but no, I've been given a chance in the number one team, basically, and I'm going to take the bull by the horns and go for it,
Saying that, the weather was a bit iffy today, wasn't it? And did I see you step off very neatly?
Not step off, yes, in that phrase. No, I just ran out of road there, and I thought I'd just turn it in the gravel trap, but it's so deep I parked it upright and just had to step off and walk away. Left it parked bolt upright.
That's what I mean, it was very neat, and you were obviously thinking of Rob at the time. You thought, I better not bin this, is that right?
I felt like I should have brought the bike back, but I crept back up the back there. So.
but nevertheless, it's a big change for you, but you're looking forward to this season?
Very much so, yeah. It's a big challenge, I think. I've got a lot to prove to myself and a lot of other people as well, so no, I'm confident, feel good for the season.
Excellent, thanks a lot, Steve.
Thanks.
John, fine weather for ducks out there.
Yeah, I think that's the best thing to be riding at the moment as a duck. Certainly not a Ducati.
Well, it's closed, isn't it, ducks and Ducatis?
Yeah.
But what is it like? I saw you tiptoeing around earlier.
It's horrendous, really. It's not the sort of conditions you want to be trying too hard in, but having said that, you do want to pull a good time out of the hat. But yeah, the trouble is, to get feedback off the bike, you really need to feel what the tyres are doing. At the moment, it's so windy, the wind's blowing the bike all over the place, so it makes the thing feel like it's sliding. It's not, it just feels a bit awkward at the moment.
Because this is an important day for you, because it's the first time that British Superbikes have been on the full circuit, isn't it? And so, I mean, it was important for you to get some good testing in, I would have thought.
Yeah, but as you rightly say, it's the first time anybody's been here, and nobody's going to get any unfair advantage. It's the same for everybody, of course. So, yeah, it's a shame, but it happens, doesn't it?
One of those things. So, prospects for the season then, how are you going to do?
Well, yeah, it looks good. I mean, we've done some good testing, and the bikes are working well. It's going to be a tough, long, hard season, but
especially if it's like this.
Yeah, if it's like this, it's going to be a long, long season, isn't it?
Colin, perhaps you can tell us what today is about. Never mind the weather, but just what are you hoping to do today?
Well, the main purpose of today is the media launch of the British Championship, and also to give us some track time. We haven't been on this circuit since the early 90s, So it's going to give us some invaluable help for September when we're back here for the race.
And what about the weather? I mean, does this spoil things? Well, I know it must spoil things for you.
Yeah, obviously it makes it very difficult for us to get the bike set up correctly. I mean, actually we've only been out once this morning. We've got another 3 half-hour sessions, so by the end of the day we'll probably have it set up just right for the wet race, which it probably will be.
Well, let's hope it doesn't. Chris, what about you, being the new boy to the team? How are you finding things?
Yeah, pretty good. We started testing last week, and first time out on the bike, you know, really like it. Team works really well, and settling quite well so far, so good.
Yeah. But you wouldn't like this weather, whatever bike you were on, no doubt.
No, that's right. I mean, it's hard to learn a track when you come to it, you know, first off, and the weather's like this with the wind as well as the rain. But it's the same for everybody, so we'll get out there and do our best and see how we go at the end of the day.
Yeah. Oh, that's good talking, champions talk. What about you, Ian? How have you found it today?
Not so good. I had a small get-off earlier on, lost the front end, ended up in the gravel trap, but apart from that, things have been going great.
I suppose one thing, when it is wet, at least you can sort of slide quite neatly, can't you?
Yeah, that's it. As long as the bike doesn't hit you, you're okay. There's plenty of runoff here. It's a very safe circuit, which is good. It's got that in its favour, definitely.
And what do you think of this bloke, young Chris, then? Is you going to be good teammates, are you? No bouncing off one another?
Alright, no, we got on well. He keeps me in my toes. He's been very quick testing so far, so I just need to tell him to slow down a wee bit when it comes to the racing.
OK, we'll watch you through the season then. Thanks a lot, fellas.
Thanks very much.
Thank you, cheers.
Mike, it's a bit better now that the sun's come out, a bit better than this morning.
Yeah, the sun's out, but it's still so windy. It's blowing you off course all the time. It's hard work out there.
But even worse when it was raining as well. I mean, that made it even worse. Everyone was tippy-toeing around then, weren't they?
Yeah, it's like once about when it was raining because you're going a bit slower. It's now they're getting up to speed. It's blowing the fairing around and myself around everywhere.
So you get much chancing to get a good feel for the bike on the circuit today?
I'd like to think so, but I mean, it's hard at the moment. It's you're not getting much information. Really, it's just going out there and just getting used to riding a bike again.
Yeah. So what are the chances for this year then? You'll be coming back to Silverstone in September, but most of the circuits you're very familiar with, aren't you?
Yeah, it's like Silverstone. I came here about 2 years ago. It's nice to come to a different circuit. It gives you a bit more of a challenge. So it's the same for everyone. It's a new circuit for everyone. So just go out there and do our best.
Well, you got some good results last year. You're expecting even more this year, and you got a new teammate as well.
Yeah, it'd be good to have Ian Simpson, my teammate. It's good to have someone who can work with you. You know, it's a bit lonely on your own. And me and Ian do work together, so it's good.
Yeah. OK, well, are you going out again today?
Yeah, afraid so. Yeah, we'll just have to go for a ride round.
Thanks very much then, Mike.
Thank you.
Terry, the sun's coming out now, so that's dried the track off a bit, but it's still very windy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really windy. It's a bit of a problem out there, you know, but at least it's getting dry. I mean, before there was loads of puddles and wind, and it's almost blowing you off the track. I mean, it's blown a few riders off the track actually already.
So how are you finding it as far as getting some shakedown tests on the bike? Because you've only had one session, have you, so far this year?
Yeah, we had one session, but that was on the 97 bike. This is the first time 98 bike's turned a wheel, so it's a shakedown test for us, really. I'm not even looking at any times or anything. All I'm doing is riding around, trying to evaluate the bike. Yeah,
you're certainly not. Well, you'd be silly to pushing it, wouldn't you, in this sort of weather?
Yeah, but it can catch anyone out. You know, it is dodgy out there, but it's okay. Everything's going good. The team's working well, and it's it's our first real proper test together. So I'm happy with everything. I think the Suzuki's look really well.
Yeah. Now, tell me, have you ridden at this circuit before?
No, I've been here last year on this circuit at Silverstone in a Caterham car.
Yeah.
I done a bit around here. Then I actually drove on the Grand Prix circuit in the TVR. So yeah, in one of H.R. Owen's cars. So that was pretty good.
So is this a new career for Terry Reimer that we've got to look out for?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just doing it for a bit of fun, really, and just trying my hand, you know. And I think really I'll be looking at maybe going to cars when I'm about, I don't know, I'm 31 now, so maybe when I'm 35 or something, whenever I'm ready for it, really. But no, just having a bit of a dabble, really, just a bit of fun.
So when Terry Reimer slows down on 2 wheels, that's time to go to 4, is it, and look out?
Possibly, yeah. I'd like to. I think I'm a pretty competitive type person, so I'd like to do some sort of motorsport, you know, when I finish bike racing. So maybe I could get into cars. But obviously it's an expensive hobby, so I think I'd have to be fast. I mean, if I could pull in the lap times like I think I can in a car, then I'd definitely have a go.
But back to this year then, you're looking for great things with Suzuki and get up at the top there?
Yeah, really good things. You know, all the guys are working well, as I said, and the Dunlop tyres are working good at the moment. And I think the team's going to be a force to be reckoned with. Certainly, I think at the beginning of the year it's going to be a slow start for us, but we've got a long year ahead of us. I think we can only improve. We've also got the fuel injection to run on the bike yet, which is going to help us.
Yeah. Okay. Well, look for great things then.
Thanks a lot.
Well, both of you guys are new boys on the Ducati, so how are you finding it, Troy?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it at the moment. It's been hasn't been a real nice day, that's for sure, but it's good to have a ride on the bikes and see what they're actually going to go like, and they're going to go all good.
Looks as though it's going to wash a bit of your suntan off though, isn't it?
I think it's happening already.
And what about the wind? Did you have much trouble with the wind earlier or what?
Yeah, it's not real good out there. Everyone's struggling with it, and but it is what it is, and you just got to try and take it a little bit easy, isn't it?
Now, first time out on the Ducati for you then, how are you finding it? Or is it the sort of wrong time to ask you on a day like today?
It's a little bit early, but I really feel quite comfortable on it, and I think it's going to be a good thing.
Right, and sort of you'll be showing the Brits just what an Aussie can do then, will you?
Oh, I don't know, we'll give it a nudge and see what happens.
Okay, well, we shall watch you. Jamie, it's a new bike for you as well, so how are you finding it?
Yeah, the Ducati's a new experience for me. I've got a lot to learn on this, so we're just taking it easy right now.
So it's a big change from 250s to the big Duke as well, so 2 strokes to 4 strokes, weight as well?
Yeah, everything. It's a completely different scenario that I've got here. I've just got to work hard now before the first race and, you know, get comfortable with the bike, because that's the main thing. It's just a real alien thing to me at the moment. And I know the Ducati's going to be good, and Team GSE also working hard, so just settle down, blow some cobwebs off today.
So probably like Troy here, you would have rather it was a sort of a dry day to start off with, I should think, with the first time out?
Well, everybody does, yeah, but you know, if we can come away from today with just something in hand that can help us, then that's going to be a benefit, because yeah, conditions today are just dreadful, and it's the same for everybody, so we're just wobbling around really.
Neil, you've ridden in Grand Prix as well as World Superbike, so the big debate over which is best and who's best and all the rest of it, the two classes, 500s against Superbikes, you know, what's your view on this?
It's a question that I've been asked thousands of times now, and it's difficult to answer which is the best. It depends how, you know, who's the best rider, you know, which is the most competitive. I think spectator-wise, the most enjoyable to watch is Superbikes, definitely. But I still think that Grand Prix is still the premier division. It's a fact. That's what it is. And if people keep saying that, oh, you know, but Superbikes is, you know, it's definitely better. You know, it's not. 500 Grand Prix is the number one, and it's going to be for still a long time, in my opinion. Now, this is only my opinion because I've done both. I've seen how professional Grand Prix are, seen how professional Superbikes are. But I've got to say that my all-time not favourite rider, but the rider that I admire the most is Mick Doohan, and he's in Grand Prix, and he's the best motorcycle rider in the world. And this is only my opinion. People might think I'm wrong. People might say Carl Fogarty or John Kaczynski is better than him. They're not. Definitely not. They're nowhere near him, in fact. He's the number one.
Yeah, so that's pretty unequivocal. It's good to hear you say something.
But because I've been asked this question so many times, and people, you know, like sort of
they want to get a story out of it.
Avoid the truth or whatever. You know, that's fact in my opinion. I've been there and seen it, and I've rode against all these riders, and I've been in the Grand Prix paddock and Superbike paddock. So I think I know what I'm talking about now.
So do you think if Mick came over into World Superbikes, he'd cut it in that just as well?
Yeah. I don't think he'd need 1 year to get used to it. I think he could win straight away.
And equally, if you went back into 500s, I mean, have you thought of doing that at all?
I have, yeah, sure. Because in '95 I did the 500 Grand Prix, and I really enjoyed riding the bike. The fact that I couldn't get a factory ride was a bit upsetting, so we had to go look elsewhere to get a factory ride, and so we came to Superbikes. I've enjoyed the 2 years I've done in Superbikes. I've not done well at all. I've been disappointed with my results for lots of different reasons. I've not managed to get the results, but I know this year, now I'm with a good team and a bike that suits me, I'm going to get the results that I want. So as soon as I get the results I want, then I'll enjoy it more, and maybe I'll want to stay in Superbikes a bit longer. But I think at the end of the tunnel, at the end of my career, I would like to be doing Grand Prix.
Principal opposition this year in World Superbikes. Forget Grand Prix for now. So who are you up against?
I think this year you'll find there's going to be a lot of unknown quantities. You've got Edwards, he's moved to Honda. You know, a good bike and a good rider. Anything could happen there. You've got Haga, this completely crazy Japanese rider on the Yamaha, which is probably not the best bike out there this year. But he's a rider that's going to stick everything out, not just his neck. He'll stick anything out, you know, to get past you. He's completely crazy. I've witnessed that. There's Corsa's come back, you know, and Corsa's on a Ducati. It's a bike he's ridden and won the World Championship on. He likes the bike. He seems to like the Italians, so he's going to be a big threat. There's me on the Kawasaki. You know, nobody really knows. So far, so good. Testing's gone good, but who knows what can happen?
Yeah, I was looking at some of the testing times at Phillip Island, and you were very close to Yanagawa there, weren't you? So you must have been really pleased with that.
Yeah, I'm pleased. I've got to say I'm doing it completely different this year. When I signed for Ducati, I was trying too hard in the pre-season testing, and I crashed a lot. And to be honest, it knocked my confidence. And as the testing went on, I lost confidence with the bike altogether. And this year, it's completely different. One step at a time. Just, you know, I'm going through everything methodically, the setting of the bike, you know, we're testing all these different tyres, and I'm not bothered about doing a time, you know, one fast lap time. So it looks good in the motorcycle news. I'm trying to do race distance and consistency, and so that when that light turns to green, I know I can do 25 fast laps, not, you know, maybe 3, you know, and finish 8th. You know, I want to win.
And what about Yanagawa? How are you getting on with him as a teammate?
Well, I've only ever had 2 teammates before, and I think I've had the 2 worst teammates in the world. I'm not one John Krasinski and one Carl Fogarty. Yeah. Now, Carl Fogarty is a friend and still is a friend, but when I say worst, he's got such a domineering character, personality. He's quite difficult to work with. So now I've got this quiet, youngish Japanese rider called Akira Yanagawa. He's fantastic. He's polite. He'll do anything for anybody. He's really, really nice to work with.
And he's a racer as well.
He's a racer. He's got the ability. I've got to say, I didn't mention him earlier, but I think he's probably one of the, you know, he's going to finish in the top 2 or 3 in the world. He could win it, you know, if on his day he's very, very fast. And I believe the Kawasaki is the bike to be on this year. So we're going to be a good team. I'm going to learn a little bit off him, and we're going all the way.
As you'll remember, this is where we left our 2 learner motorcyclists last week, venturing out onto the open road. Of course, under the expert guidance of motorcycle instructor Andy Dawes. The 3 of them are in fact in radio contact. Andy can speak to both the pupils, giving them instructions and directions. They can hear exactly what he's saying, but unfortunately they can't answer back. They'll negotiate left and right turns and hopefully put into practice everything that they've learnt in the car park. They'll experience every kind of road condition, everything from back streets to major dual carriageways, busy junctions and roundabouts. There are actually 2 pupils on this CBT course, and they'll take it in turns to lead this mini convoy. Andy, the instructor, will always sit in the middle. Forward observation and, of course, driving within the speed limit are 2 of the main factors that Andy will be looking for. from time to time, Andy will stop the two pupils for a little chat. He'll offer some advice and further instruction, and of course ask them to negotiate some of the manoeuvres that they will be required to do on a full test. This is of course the U-turn. Must be done feet up and without stopping, and certainly without falling off. Another important manoeuvre that must be mastered correctly is the emergency stop. The pupils must perform safely for 2 hours on the road. That is the basic minimum legal requirement. And only when Andy is happy will he actually sign the CBT certificate. So around 2 hours later, it's fingers crossed and back to the centre. So here we are back at the test centre. The tea's very nice as well. I'm nice and warm. These two are freezing because they've been out on a bike all day. CBT now completed, hopefully to a successful conclusion. Let's find out. Andy, I see you've got a certificate there, all signed and completed. Does that mean total success?
Yes, he's passed. Yeah. Quite happy with him.
You're quite happy with him. Was there anything in particular that you had to keep pulling him up on?
No, just the general things that most people sort of fall down. Right. Forward observation and watching speed limits. Tend to get a little fast occasionally.
Oh, bit of a boy racer, is he?
I don't think so. Just a typical car driver, I think.
Typical car driver, I like it. Right, Neil, I believe that's yours now. A completed certificate, CBT pass. That means you can go on to part 2. CBT, was it everything you thought it would be? Was it harder?
It was a little more difficult than I first thought, but I feel really safe and confident on the roads now. Yeah.
There was more in it than you thought there was?
There was a few more things in it, like the slow control, things like that. Yeah, it's never done anything like that before.
Right. Okay, so that means you can you go and do your part 2 now, and you're going for the direct access test. That means once you've passed it, hopefully, which you are going to pass it, you'll be able to ride anything. So now you're going to move on to a Suzuki GS 500. How do you feel about that?
Can't wait. Can't wait to get out road on that.
Itching to go, eh, now?
Oh, definitely.
Big bike, you know.
Well, not too big.
Very confident. Right, well, good luck, and we'll see how you go on the 500 next week. And in next week's Two Wheels Better, there's more conversation from Neil Hodgson, and we ride BMW's giant trail bike, the R1100 GS.